Alright. Lysander.
Sounds like you guys are having fun.
Nope. It was awful. It was like pulling teeth.
Terrible.
You should be afraid.
Sure.
I mean, you were here for just the whole thing. But...
So.
You remembered nothing.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Exactly.
What? Oh, actually, it's here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing something interesting, just in case things go south.
I doubt it.
Well, not like dead south. I mean, like other.
No, you're doing something interesting.
Thanks. I gotta stop falling for that.
Alright. So, Lysander, if you want to get started.
First things first.
Bread is rising.
Like I said,
No.
well, that's not a question. That's a statement.
Yeah, it's the answer to your question.
All right.
What's the question?
So, in an edge case where, say, Lysander accidentally pisses off everybody.
Edge case.
Okay, edge case where he pisses off just the fish.
Okay. That would be a very edge case.
Because I'm trying to actually play them. Assuming he's not just dead on the spot and he just kind of keels over.
Well, I mean, I
external
remember that
other
sometimes,
reasons.
especially like we're doing gaming stuff, but I mean,
For the hell of it, I'm creating extra character sheets for him.
Well, like,
Like backups. Okay, not like, oh, there's a guy who pops out who says, my name is also Lysander, let's adventure. More like, I know in the mechanics of D&D, there is no way for a warlock to lose their abilities. I don't bank on that for half of this level, so.
well, we'll see what happens at the end of this downtime.
So here's the thing, my thinking is, if need be, I've prepared a couple of extra class-based character sheets in case he gets completely hosed.
Okay, so like if they try to take away your powers.
If he just rips it away, I'll tell you right now, I'm creating a character sheet in case he has to go rogue.
Okay.
Or he has to go sorcerer, which would be an interesting way of kind of playing around with how he's been messing with other entities. And like, oh hey, let me take that, and I'll take that ability, and then it turns on him, it's like, oh yeah, oh shit, okay. Well, I have contact with this stuff, but I'm cut off from the main stuff.
Right.
Just an interesting thought. I don't know how feasible it is, but...
I think the rogue is a little bit more realistic in what would happen.
Yeah.
Sorcerer, you kind of would gain more magic in a way.
Give me the source of my magic.
like 90 to 91.
Should just play the sorcerer to start with.
Anyway. So, well, it all depends on what you're trying to go for, and warlocks are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sorry.
day one, you are...
The only big thing that they have is Eldritch Blast, but I'd love to still have that, but... Nah, anyway.
That's like their big combat thing. They have a lot of utility in like the evocations and stuff.
Totally, yeah.
So, you are in Vox Lialin. Joff hits the road. Haas... you and Haas could spend some time together if you want. He sticks around Vox Lialin just to make sure everybody gets off okay.
Yeah, sure. In which case, let's... Yeah, if you wanted to sit down and I do very quickly, like, how high... Or has he already done this, basically?
He's already done this.
Oh, okay, so he doesn't have to repeat.
Yeah. Like he's mostly just kind of sticking around, seeing how everything's going. I kind of assumed you would head off towards the meeting with the Lord as quickly as possible.
Yeah, to start up the guild, because that's kind of priority number one.
Yeah.
Alright,
So, putting it on,
I would chat with him briefly if he's sticking around for a day. Otherwise, if he's dashing, basically, it's like, oh, Jesmal and everyone heading out, because Jesmal's freaked out by all the stuff going on with the assassin.
Jasmal bounces out hard.
Okay, in which case, I'm going to take the initiative and thank Haas for his time and assistance with the guild work so far.
Right.
Actually, one thing I can request is a quick letter of recommendation. Does he have writing materials on hand?
Otherwise, that way.
In case somebody asks, like, oh, who the heck are you? It's like, oh, yes.
Haas,
I just want...
do you have writing equipment on you?
Writing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Lysander asks for a letter of recommendation.
It's more of an insurance, just in case. Say somebody at the guild goes, well, why should we trust you? Well, then I can go, oh, well...
Yeah. Yeah, I gladly write that.
I know you vouch for me in person, but...
Yeah, but you also have that.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
And also, you're trying to form your own guild.
No, precisely. I'm just trying
So,
to make
And
sure.
more references.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've
Having any is
been
great.
introduced to the guild, but that letter could be used for like Lord Stelmane or whatever.
Precisely.
The Lord is somebody you want the letter for. Because, like, contact with a couple of talks with the guild is good. It gets you some FaceTime with the ground forces, but to get, like, an actual guild started, you need the higher levels.
Yes, I could say that Archmage Vargasil would have my name on file, but I mean, he's probably busy, just in case. So, good.
You're able to get the letter of introduction before he heads out.
Sweet. Let me go ahead and just. Letter of
Introduction.
by. I almost want to write. I almost want to tell him to not write any name as to who this should be handed to, so I can just use it forever. But no.
Haas did not do that. He would
Hey,
put your
Hoss!
name.
No. Kidding. Okay, cool. Just covering my ass.
Yep.
I should have them before.
Alright. That was like the first hour of your first day.
Thereabouts. And yeah, how much? Yeah, we got time.
You got about 40 days.
We got time.
You only spent about 5 days with the Brennan.
Yeah. Kind of glad that we got lucky with the timing there. We managed to power through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
In real time, it took a bit, but in game time, we saved ourselves a bit.
So, what do you want to do? Who do you want to fight?
No, I'm not fighting anybody yet.
Fight? Fight me!
I'm not fighting God. That's not. No. So, first things first. What time is it by the time this goes on? This is morning-ish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like after breakfast, but still pretty early. You would know that for the Artist Guild to get started, there would be you'd have to beseech Lord Numera to get permission.
I said besiege.
Yes, besiege him. Defeat him in open combat.
Okay.
There's an associated tax with having the guild started that you would have to pay.
Freaking money, okay.
You would have to do recruitment to get forces together, get people together. You'd have to establish the level, like who goes where, that sort of thing. You would be invited to the semi-mandatory guild meetings where they discuss the traffic and goings-on of the town. So you need to convince Lord Numera that you should be there. You need to get the guild to a level where it's actually feasible. And then you need to start playing the politics of the guild, of the other guilds, to establish yourself. There's also getting the property, but part of that will come with beseeching Lord Numera.
Here's a little tip for you. When you see Mommy or anybody else...
So like beseeching Lord Numera will be like, I want to do this thing. It's like, okay, why do you want to do this thing? I want to do this thing for this reason. Okay, that works. Where are you going to do this thing? Well, where's available? Well, we got this bit of strip of land over here. You could use that. It's like, okay, I'll use that sort of thing. Basically like negotiations.
Okay, so really 5 major steps, and not all necessarily in that order. Usually it's more the first and the last of the most important. Right. Procedure. Okay, so first things first. Lord Numera.
So you head over to Lord Numera.
Yeah.
Your glitter gives you an escort to the central keep.
And the glitterer who's with me, he's rather low level, kind of just guardsman type, or is it more somebody who I could talk to and say, okay, so have you ever seen anyone do this before?
He's low level for a glitterer. You would probably want to refer to him as a Starfield when you talk to him.
Yeah, I'll be careful.
But all of the Starfields are in and of themselves the higher ranking of the military.
Okay, so...
But like he's not like an important figure really.
Yeah, sure. No,
I think his name was Morass.
Okay.
Or her name was Morass.
Okay. Morass, as we're on our way to Lord Numera's place, quick question. Have you ever had anybody try to open a guild before? Like, ever hear about this happening?
She kind of was like, not really.
It's always been pretty well established.
Well, in my lifetime, yeah.
Okay, just curious, yeah. Because, I mean, that's my intention with going to Lord Numera's. I mean, you've seen me prepare my things at this point. It's pretty obvious I'm doing some business.
She nods.
Yeah, I'm interested in, I should have done some research on this ahead of time. What kind of artisans or arts presence is there in Vox Lialin? I don't see any meetings for painting and that sort of thing.
She says like there's not a lot of artists really. I mean, I'm sure there's some painters around somewhere, but never really enough to get started, get a guild going out of its own power.
well, maybe I'll be the first person to do that.
She kind of shrugs and is like, maybe.
I mean, hey, if you don't see enough painters and artists and whatnot around, it's probably because they don't have an incentive to be here. I mean, hey, if I made a guild like this, you know anyone who would know?
She says, I know a guy who might be interested. Not very good, but
I mean, hey,
somebody.
we can make him better.
Sure.
Yes, I'm being cocky about this.
Okay.
But both in and out of characters. You know, hey, if you want to offer his contact info or something, I'd love to get in touch with him if I get this off the ground.
She said, sure. He's over on the docks. He works as a dockhand on his daytime.
Alright. I mean, hey, everyone's got a hobby.
But look, the chances are pretty low.
I mean, I'd try, but never mind.
She's
Adventuring is my hobby.
she's responding and talking, but she doesn't want to be there.
Okay. Understandable. Let's make this as painless as possible for you.
So you head towards the keep.
Indeed, I do.
At the gates, you are relieved of your Starfield escort. She says that if you try anything, there's about 20 Starfields and an armed military who will kill you on sight. So you don't need me in there, right?
But there are random backs.
I think I'm good.
She nods.
I
Okay.
appreciate the concern.
She goes over to a table where there's a couple of Starfields just playing some cards. She's like, all right, deal me in, boys. He sits down. She basically considers his break.
Have fun with your break.
As you go into the central area, you declare your intentions to the secretary. You are escorted to a waiting hall. As you are brought into the waiting hall, you see that there is a very tan individual with black hair pulled back in a ponytail, wearing a little bit more clothing than you would consider reasonable.
That's a lot of clothing. And I recognize this person as...
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna... Unless it's not Lord Nuevo, that's gonna get weird.
More than a year.
Perception... Oops, I have another dock open. 17?
You catch sight of a familiar Black Lotus emblem
Oh, hi.
just hidden. Like, he's kind of dressed like I am.
Yeah.
He's kind of like just hidden underneath his vest, like right here.
It's
He's got his feet just kind of propped up and he's kind of relaxing.
This guy saw me as an invisible figure and nothing else.
So he's just kind of relaxing. Just, it seems like he's kind of like half napping where he is.
This guy's... Sorry, to clarify, he is in...
He's in the waiting room.
Okay. I was thinking, I just walked inside and he's sitting on Lord Numero's throne like, hey, what's up?
He's in the waiting room with you. And he just kind of cracks an eye at you, like, good morning.
Morning. So, what are you in for?
Most of the brain tissue.
It's called humor.
He says, I'm here for a meeting with Lord Numero.
It's in Rabies
I had a thing for
resides
this.
in,
No, hold on. Out of character thinking.
Out of character, you would also be able to recognize him as Rygelin, especially from Jasmal's.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I got a good look at him at the gates, and he didn't get a good look at me is the thing. Being invisible, I mean, you could probably tell there's a figure there, but not, oh yeah, it's this guy.
Pretty much.
Damn, I should have come in under disguise until I got him. Anyway.
And that's the problem with that.
Well, I guess we're here for similar reasons then.
He says, oh, you're here as an envoy for a major political force.
You could say that. And you?
I've never seen
I'm not bullshitting, I'm technically correct.
It's not what he intended. He's like,
No.
he just kind of adjusts himself in his chair.
Alright.
No. Well, functionally they did.
Well, you don't seem like the talkative sort, okay. I was just trying to be friendly. Just figure if I'm going to probably bump into you at some point anyway, doing business with Lord Numero, I might as well know who I'm speaking with. Name's Haas, how about you?
Actually, he wouldn't bother rolling. He just uses passive insight. Insight is wisdom. Make a deception check for me.
That's probably going to be a no. It's going to be... Actually, I'm pretty good at that. 12?
By the time we got home,
He laughs.
I'll leave this here.
He holds his hand out.
It's a nickname.
He shakes. And he says, I'm sure it is. He says his name is Abdur.
I roll. No, I know it's not. It doesn't matter if it is. Good to meet you, Abdur.
Abdur.
Abdur. No accent on the end, or no, never mind.
There's no N.
That's true.
Oh, sure. I was trying to make a joke with that foreign names thing. No, okay. Well, Abdur, good to meet with you. I do hope to rub shoulders with you once again. Oh, what did you say? So wait, you have a meeting.
I didn't know if it would like.
I thought the movie was
Big
not. Like,
figure.
there's certain parts that he
I mean, I'm being
was
partially sarcastic when I say that. I do have business with him.
I'm-
You?
I'm an emissary.
And they play that music. He used to tear up and
Sounds
break
important.
down every single
I'm-
time.
Have you heard of Rigel?
Oh, the place to the direction.
South.
Sure. So, the place far to the south. I think I've heard the name.
Because we're.
He nods,
you're doing stuff
and he
if
says,
you're gonna be down here, you have to be quiet, okay?
one of
If you want to
the
jump around and play, then like.
one of the lords down there sent me here to open communications with this kingdom.
Oh. Well, I'll admit I'm not as caught up on political
Yeah.
things as I
But
should
yeah,
be, but
well,
are there usually
there's not
relations
a space.
between Rigel and Vox Lialin?
What was that?
Are there usually relations
But
between
yeah,
Vox
that's the
Lialin
thing.
and Rigel? It sounds like
He says not yet, but I'm hoping to open relations with Vox Lialin and the Cormac Kingdom in general.
well. I mean, if anyone's a gateway to greater things, it's probably Lord Namera. I mean, he controls this part of the region anyway.
He nods and he says, "Yep, that's why I'm here."
Oh, you're humorless. I'm trying to be jovial here, and you're treating this like a hostile event. I don't have any other way to phrase that.
It's just that. I mean.
I'm on edge.
Why's that? I mean, it seems like you should have a fair shot at speaking with him and convincing him.
People don't come and talk to me unless they want something.
I
And there have been some strange goings-on in this town since I arrived.
Oh, no, I apologize. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize you had any trouble going on. I don't want to...
I had a bit of a brush meeting with a wanted criminal yesterday.
A criminal here in Vox Lialin.
He nods.
I mean, not to say there aren't any, but... Is it somebody that you were well aware of, or stumbled upon a fight, or... I mean, I've been down at the docks before. I can see how that can be.
It was an escapee who fled Rigel to try and escape justice.
Sounds like a dangerous kind of person.
Yeah.
Oh, just for my reference, if I see them, if I see him at all, can you tell me what he looks like?
Yeah. Kind of gestures at himself. They look like me.
I mean, it's kind of reductionist, don't you think?
The reason I'm here is because there's not a lot of Rigelans here.
Oh. So you're saying essentially if I find a Rigelan, I should stab him in the throat.
He says,
That's what we call a joke in our country. I apologize.
he kind of looks around and he says, like, sure. A Rigelan worth his salt will be able to put you down.
Well, then a Rigelan worth his salt will have a bit of a tough time with me.
He cocks an eyebrow.
That's not me threatening you. That's me being friendly. See, we're talking.
He says, it sounded to me like bragging.
Okay, me.
And it had the ring of falsehood to it.
Wait, really? I mean, I don't look like much, but in a scrap, I can take someone. Maybe the one.
Really?
Maybe. Okay, a Rigelan, I actually have no idea.
Do you think you could take me?
Where's your armor?
I don't need armor.
I mean, I have other armor. No, I had something else to say there. Like, just rips off shirt. Oh, okay. No. Well, I'll admit I'm a little intimidated by the lack of armor. If you think you can really take me on, then I'm not a schoolboy who will say, let's fight outside, but I'll take your word for it. I think that you give off an air of confidence.
He says it's because I'm well trained.
I would hope so.
We don't send commoners and schoolboys to do our emissary work.
schoolboys later, but beside the point, yes. In any case, what was his name? He said he was...
He said his name was Abdur. Abdur. Abdur.
Abdur. Okay, I was going to say Aldur, and it was going to be weird. But Abdur, good chatting with you. I do think you can hold your own in this country. I appreciate seeing you on the political scale. Or political stage. Wrong word.
He gives you a shake. At this point, Starfield comes out and says, hold on, I need to look up his stupid name because I'm an idiot. Octavio Abdul Nuevo Rioja, Lord Numera would speak with you now. And Abdur stands up and he says, it's a pleasure to meet you, Hoss. And he turns and he heads into the meeting. Do you want to do anything? Are you going to try and break into the meeting because you suspect him of being an assassin sent to kill Lord Numera?
Yeah, I'm going to have some fun with this. So, okay, the Starfields are in the room with me, so I can't just go magic up, disguise, run in there.
Right. There's only like one or two keeping an eye on things, but you know there's a lot more within the grounds.
They're waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Well, I might need to use some of my old-fashioned stealthiness. What little I have. First things first, in the room around me, so he's going in through a central door.
Yeah. Into the yeah.
Is there like a servant store or something off to the side, like an office store or something?
Well, you notice there's a door leading back out. This antechamber is pretty much explicitly for people to wait to get into the main hall. So there's only two doors.
Two main doors, so two doors, one heading in, one heading out the other way. Yep. Okay, that's going to be a problem. And, we were in the room with Lord Numero last time, right?
You were, yeah.
Okay, so I'm aware of the layout of this building. Were there large windows or anything I could probably look at from outside?
Yes. There were large windows because he liked to have the natural sunlight come into his meetings.
Right. I remember that. Okay, so I'm just thinking here as time slows to a halt as I plan my crazy idea. Alright, two options really. I could sneak outside without the looters noticing, and then look through the window and then watch it all happen and be powerless to stop it, or I could pick option number 2.
Fight all the glitterers at once.
No, I was going to bluster my way into the building with the letter that Hoss gave me.
Okay.
Or there's option 3, which is alert the clerk immediately, which is the honest thing to do. I think it's a good idea. Or, let's try option 3. I don't want to do the stupid ones. Those are going to get me in trouble.
So you had to go alert one of the clerks or a Starfield that you suspect that Lord Numera is in danger?
I'm essentially going to info dump the clerk on what's going on. But first, before that, I do bring up actually no, start from the beginning. Walk up to the clerk from my seating area.
He says, is there a problem, Mr. Lysander?
Perhaps. Not about me. The man who just walked into Lord Numera's office.
Yes.
His name was...
Mr. Rioja.
Rioja, okay. Well, that gentleman... Do you know what organization he represents?
He's currently representing the Invincible Overlord.
Okay, that's a long name.
He's got like a really weird name, but I don't know what off the top of my head. It's like,
I'm saying in character.
Yeah.
It says that's a very long name. Okay. Did he say under what grounds? And I know I'm pushing here.
Well, his business is a matter of public record. He was here to open up negotiations and begin forging an alliance between Vox Lialin and the Corman Kingdom in general, and the various city-states of Rigel, starting with the city-state of the Invincible Overlord.
I'm sure. Did you know he's a part of the Black Lotus?
If he is a part of some guild in the Rigelan area, that is none of my concern.
No, we're not talking a guild, per se. It's more of a organization dealing in knives, blades, and death. I'm worried, is all. I recognize the symbol that he wears on his chest, and...
You needn't be afraid, Mr. Lysander. Lord Numera is well protected with a contingent of Starfield, as well as Lord Commander Arthas.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a magical threat here.
Yeah.
Not sure
Each Starfield is a capable swordsman in their own right.
Okay, just going to say from where I'm sitting and the information that I've gathered from a friend of mine, he may not be coming in for a peaceful meeting. I know it's been a couple minutes already. He could be dead.
The cleric says, This is beyond my pay grade. I will inform Lord Commander Arthas of your concerns, and he will react as he deems appropriate to the situation.
Understood. Just saying that I've tried to help and I've said my piece. I'd rather not act brashly, but if you think that's the best course of action, sure. I just don't want to miss my beating because the Lord is bleeding dead on his chair.
He says, your concerns have been noted.
I'm very well versed in these types of subterfuge situations. So.
The clerk says, I am unsurprised.
Well, thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
You notice that the human is looking at your elven ears.
He calls me knife, you're going to sit down.
In that case, he might just.
Okay.
He basically says that yes, he will inform the proper authorities.
Yes, of course. I'll let my manager know, and they'll get back to you after 30 days. Blah, blah. No, they're not going to do anything. Crap. I can't do anything brash, because that's going to jeopardize any chance I have of coming out of here looking innocent in case the guy's going to pin it on someone else. Just I've said my piece.
Alright, so you just go back and wait?
This is the first time that Lysander is going to sit down and wait.
Okay.
Because I think the alternative is a bad idea.
At the end of the wait...
How long do I wait, by the way?
You wait probably about... It took you a little while to negotiate with the clerk, so an extra 25 minutes.
Oof, okay, that's a long freaking meeting to just be talking to the guy.
Yep. If you want to react, you can. Otherwise, at 25 minutes, the doors open. Octavio Abdul Nuevo Rioja is escorted out, flanked by 2 Starfields.
Okay.
He gives you a look.
I give him a thumbs up.
Go ahead and make... We're going to call it a deception check because he... you have your suspicions about him.
Yeah.
And I want to see if you can maintain your chill.
My deception, you say?
Like, basically not betraying your thoughts about him being an assassin. So it would be...
Jeez, like a glance in my eyes and he goes, oh, okay, he's dead.
It'd be deception or performance, whichever is for you to kind of keep your chill.
Which is deception in this
Okay.
case. I wish I was trained in performance. I really should be with all the scams I keep trying to run.
You've seen that.
Oh, not that bad. That's gonna be a 20.
Okay. You resist his insights. I'm pretty sure he only got like a 19. He gives you a nod, and he says, I look forward to speaking with you again, Sir Haas. Is there perhaps a place I could find you where we could discuss more freely? Perhaps our names.
Oh, you picked up on the whole nickname thing.
He said, like, it was fairly obvious. Nobody would have a name that ridiculous.
Out of character doing this. Damn it. I think in character I'd start laughing. Just like, you're right. So, first off, Lysander, at your service.
He gives you a shake. It's a pleasure to meet you. You already know my full name.
I gather. And, yeah, at some point if you'd like to meet, there's a tavern that I... Actually, no, good question is... God, where would I want to meet him? I do frequent the Mage's Tower, specifically the Necromancy School. There's a friend of mine who lives there and studies. I tend to visit her often.
He says, very well.
I figure it's a nice, cozy place for us to chat.
He says, well, I look forward to speaking with you again. Enjoy your meeting. And he is freely allowed to walk out of the building.
Hope you enjoyed yours. I kind of look at the clerk like...
The clerk...
a little worried.
The clerk looks at the assassin walking out the door and then looks at the 2 Starfields who came out of the meeting with him.
I'm interested in that, by the way. So, okay, wait, he didn't come in with any Starfields at all?
Nope.
So he came out with more.
2 Starfields escorted him out of the meeting place,
Yeah.
and then are waiting there to take you into your meeting.
I see. Okay, so
So they were part of Lord
I was
Numera's.
I was trying to figure out, like, did he just take 2 extra people out with him?
Like,
Because that's a hell of a heist. That's how I would pull it. Is like nobody would notice 2 extra people walk out to escort a guy out after committing a murder. All right, sure.
you go in,
Jeez, here we go. Yeah.
you step in, and you can see that there are about 8 Starfields, a small contingent of about 10 trained guards.
That's a lot of them.
Lord Arthas, Lord Commander of the Armed Forces, and seated on the throne in a somewhat lackadaisical position, completely unharmed, is Lord Numera,
Yeah, it figures.
with a chalice of wine in hand.
Oh, cool.
And go ahead and make an intelligence check.
I probably should. Is this perception or just plain intelligence?
Just plain intelligence. This is to connect.
Oh, sorry, that's, wisdom would be
Yeah,
perception anyway.
this is just to connect something.
That's a 6.
Never mind.
I do not connect the dots on the thing.
Lord Demira says, Sir Lysander,
Yes.
you are here to start an artists guild, I believe?
Artists and artisans both, yes.
Okay. So, do you have a roster? Do you have forces? Do you have recruitment?
That's actually what I would like to begin, and I wanted to get your blessing before starting really on that sort of endeavor. I understand procedure.
Sure. And do you have some sort of proof of skill, so that way we know that we're not dealing with any person walking in off the street?
Well, yes, of course. I have a letter written by a house companion of mine who can vouch for me.
One of the Starfields collects it, opens it, reads it,
Yeah,
closes it, and hands it off to Lord.
Checks it for exploding runes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hands it off to Lord
and-
Numero.
Yes. And secondly, although I do not have a written document on hand, if you request the wisdom of Archmage Vargasil, he would definitely vouch for me and any of my companions that I've traveled with so far.
Lord Numero says, he looks over at Lord Commander Arthas, and Lord Commander Arthas says, yes, Lysander is one of the supposed shield of Orlane. Archmage Vargasel has put them in for special considerations.
Yeah.
Lord Numero says,
And I do
yes.
appreciate that, if you're considering.
Lord Numero says, yes, we will be considering it, and we will reach a conclusion at the end of the month. Having an Archmage on your side is not the greatest of endorsements, but it is at least something.
I think somebody in any kind of position of power.
Yes, of course. Do you have a plot of land selected for your headquarters yet? I don't know what that noise is, but...
It's not coming from that. So... No, seriously, what's going on?
I think somebody's playing an instrument.
Okay, sorry, it's just distracting. I do not have a plot of land set up yet. However, I do have a friend of mine who I will be negotiating with in regards to that.
Out of character, who are you talking about?
I'm gonna try to convince Joff to do a favor for me.
Are you going to try and convert his cabin into your artist guild?
Heck yes.
You realize his artist guild is here.
Oh, he's all the way out there. Oh, never mind. I had no clue. Never mind that.
Okay.
So, okay. Rewind. I didn't realize where you... Wait, where is that in relation to... Where the hell... How... I thought he was to the east of Vox Lialin. That was the original plan, I thought.
Sorry, no, east of Orlane.
Of Orlane. Oh, sorry, okay. Alright. So... Sorry. Rewind. I do not have a plot of land selected yet. However, that is the next step in my process.
Commander Arthas, do we have any land that we could select for this individual? Lord Commander Arthas says, yes, my lord, there is an abandoned warehouse near the... Actually, he says there's an abandoned warehouse... Actually, no, what he does say... Oh wait, no, that's an old watchtower. There's an abandoned warehouse set near the lake, and generally viewed as too far away for anybody to make use of, because they'd have to travel all the way to the switchbacks to make use, or the docks. I believe this would be an acceptable land for this young individual to begin his artists guild. There's a little bit of sarcasm in there.
Oh, I do know that you may not have a lot of faith in this, but I do believe that bringing an extra bit of positive culture to the docks area would be very nice. With a change of pace.
Commander Arthas says, my opinion does not matter. It is up to you to sort out your business.
Of course.
And Lord Mayor says, well, you have a premise. I'm assuming you will be handing over the proper documentation for perusal by us to make sure that you are beholden to our laws. You do not try and pull any sort of coup by legalese.
Of course. Believe me, I've dealt with lawyers before. I don't want to be the one getting screwed more dearly.
In terms of the tax,
How much would that cost? Yeah.
out of character, you're talking with the Smiths Guild. It is usually associated that each member will volunteer 9 gold a month.
Fair amount. Okay.
It's a 9 gold a month. It buys them lodging if they want it, contacts and materials, and a lot of the gold will go for like maintenance and upkeep and upgrades, recruitment processes, gathering supplies for them to work with. So like they're paying 9 gold a month. You're giving them everything they need to do their job.
Okay, so that's actually not bad for all those services. Okay.
Your tax to the city
of course.
will be 15 gold for a month.
Oh my.
There'll be 15 gold a month for your permission to work within the city, and another 5 gold for this rundown warehouse. If you,
That's pretty cheap, actually.
so it'll be a total of 20 gold a month. You will also have you will have to provide expenses to your workers. They're not concerned about that. That is something you will have to be concerned about.
I'll figure it out.
But like the usual thing is like, okay, you try and get 15 people together. That way you have 1 gold from their 9 gold to go to the tax, and then 1 gold to go.
Yeah, because that's how guilds cover their costs. Like that's how any organization covers their costs. They go,
Exactly.
okay, I'm paying my dues.
So
Not a problem. All right.
they say that the associated tax is 15 gold for permission,
Alright.
5 gold. That's all right.
You just got to go.
15 gold for permission, 5 gold for like property taxes.
Okay. So
The property taxes can obviously increase if you try and upgrade your building
Yeah.
or try and get more property.
but at that point, I should be getting more income.
Yeah, at that point,
Oh my.
that's all right. At that point, you should be getting more income. The increased presentation will attract more customers or more.
Clientele.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be picked up on the tape.
So that's your starting tax is 20 gold a month.
Okay, hold on. So I'm just looking. All right. So 20 gold a month in total per month. That includes rights to the warehouse. etc.
Yeah, they give you
Okay, so that's a fair amount.
specifically. You now own this building.
Hey, buddy.
Not a bad spot actually. Pretty central. I mean, you say out of the way, but that's not bad at all.
Well, the problem is it's not connected to a road. These are the gates in. This is where a lot of the traffic happens.
Yeah.
This is the upper class. So you're kind of in the
Right.
lower class area near water that nobody uses. And like this is the area where a lot of the trade happens.
I don't
So-
think they realize that that's kind of primo real estate right there. Being right between the two classes of the city, and then on top of that, being just out of the way and other people need to be brought to the area. Like that's not a bad thing necessarily.
Sure.
Having it on a common street would mean more riffraff coming in who don't know what they're doing, or people coming in and going, "Well, I'm not interested. I don't know why I walked in here."
Yeah.
I played campaigns out of character where this has happened before, where it's like, oh, we opened a shop, and then people just walk in and have no idea what the shop's about. It's like,
Totally.
come on. So exclusivity might be good to start with.
Yeah, and like the biggest reason that it's kind of viewed as unsavory is the fact that its amount of land is blocked by water and it doesn't have access to a major road. So it does take a little bit of effort to get to it.
It's frustrating.
It's like people can't use it as a warehouse because the wagons can't get to it as easily.
Yeah.
So for them, it's like, just whatever, have it.
But surprisingly, art supplies aren't that hard to carry around a couple of streets.
Sure.
I mean, again, I've worked for a broadcast company where we were situated in a spot in Manhattan where we had to take a back elevator that was kind of broken down, didn't really work to get heavy equipment up and down.
Nobody has
and we
elevators
were
here.
on a one-way road, so it was ridiculous. It was to the point where every single trip, like a few blocks, took 30 minutes at least to just get everything out there.
Okay.
And that was at the minimum. It was more like 2 hours for one of the larger projects, just getting equipment there. Point is,
So
that's doable.
okay, they give you the property. They ask for your first month's tax up front.
Sure. So 20 GP total.
Yep.
Ding. And sorry, what was that? 9 gold pieces that was mentioned earlier. Just want to square
The
that.
the typical guild fee is 9 gold.
Okay.
If you want to change your costs, you can. You will start getting pseudo pressure from the other guilds to conform a little bit.
Sure. All right, 9 gold.
But it could be a tactic to increase your recruitment to begin with.
Sure. So increasing.
Why don't we'll break it up and like start looking at the
Yeah. Okay. So
Um,
I also realize if I take on some of the costs myself to start with, that could be.
I'm gonna make coffee.
I have enough.
I would. Like I said, I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Let's see. So in total, overall per month, I'll be paying 29 gold pieces to start. Because that, like, combined, the 9 gold a month for guild fees, 15 a month for
Well,
taxes,
as the creator
5
of the
a month.
guild, you are not beholden to your own guild fees.
Okay, well, I'm saying I am until I get people.
Okay, sure.
So,
But like those putting that 9 gold in is it helps boost your coffers. The Lord is only expecting 20.
okay,
It's
cool,
like
that's a
the
start.
idea is like a guild for new members is like, okay, 9 gold is what you pay us. Then they use that 9 gold as like, okay, this goes for the taxes, this goes for supplies, this goes for upkeep, this goes for that, like that sort of thing.
Okay, in which case I'm just writing down a note as ladies go. I can pay for straight up 9 months of this.
Cortland blend.
You're paying 29 gold.
Let
Yeah.
me sniff the coffee.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, I can smell from here.
Yeah, he's just gonna make some for whoever.
It's the Coffee Mania.
Oh, yeah.
Cortland blend.
Heck yes. I need to go there sometime. I keep saying that. Let's see, so guild fees paid to... And that's organization-wise, I'm just making sure. That's paid to... what would it be called? The...
Town of Vox Lialin.
Oh, to the town.
It goes to the Vox Lialin treasury essentially.
Okay, they all go to the Vox Lialin treasury. Just one's filtered through the other guild. Or, like a guild organization. Or...
Your
Also, I reflexively wrote City of Vox Lialin.
your gold is paid to the town.
Uh-huh.
Like the guilds kind of meet together to sort of try and keep the peace and talk, but no guild is beholden to another.
Okay, so I'm going to write down that it's paid to the town of Vox Lialin technically through the guilds. So I'm not paying the guilds, it's more a matter of, in order to appear as a productive part of the guilds in the town, I must pay off.
Okay.
I'm just writing it down for my own notes. Alright, so 29 gold pieces per month, with really an expected 20 a month starting off.
Yeah.
I
Like
can operate for 10 months at that rate, assuming that the first month goes smoothly after people.
I hope you understand. There's no overarching guild organization controlling the guilds.
Okay, that's good to know then.
It's a collection of guilds that are all just kind of It's
Okay.
there's a collection of guilds that are all just kind of they meet and they talk. They're not beholden to each other. You don't have to pay costs. The 9 gold I'm talking about is like you go to somebody and you say like, hey, you want to join my guild? And they're like, yeah, I want to join your guild. Awesome. 9 gold a month.
Okay, so 9 gold a month. You're saying for an individual to pay me to
Yes.
go. Okay. So, sorry, I was confused. You're saying that's the like a default membership rate.
That's the default
That's
membership
what I was trying
rate.
to figure out.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, like, wait, 9 gold also, but only 20 what? Okay.
No,
Now I get it.
that was
Because that'll over time cover costs and then generate money. Because
Yeah.
that's the point of the freaking guild, is to make some money at a certain
Yeah.
point.
the members pay the guild 9 gold on average.
Sure.
The guild uses that money to do stuff with the guild, including paying their dues.
Okay, so I'm going to write that as income.
Yeah.
So that's much better.
I could tell there was confusion because you were like trying to pay through a guild. It's like,
I was trying to
no.
figure that out, like if there was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
central banking system, which I'm not sure has been invented yet, but whatever.
Not really.
Okay, so 20 a month. I can operate for 11 months. In any case, okay. Thank you for the rundown of expenses. I am more than willing to pay upfront for the first month.
Lord Dumera gestures to one of his
We still have apple cider.
hangers-on. They hand over a parcel of papers. Says, fill these out, bring them back. They accept the goal. It's like, normally we accept this later, but this works. And they say,
Just trying to show my goodwill in my efforts.
fill the paperwork out, bring it back to us. We will review it, make sure everything's vegan kosher. We will contact you. It usually takes about a week of time once you've completed the paperwork. I'm assuming you spend most of the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, like in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Most people do that when it comes to paperwork. It's just like, okay, I've got time.
If you're able to finish it,
Speaking of which, what kind of paperwork am I signing? Just essentially a deed to the land, probably
deed to the land.
rules and regulations for guilds. And
Yeah, general, like a sort of a fill-in contract of like guild policies. Like they leave a lot of the orders and your own. I'm thinking of the word like contract of what we do.
Statement of work.
Sure.
Maybe, I guess. Well, that's more from a freelance.
But like basically like a general contract of like we will not We will not use our political power to overthrow Vox Lialin. We will not do.
Lord Nuevo.
We will. Yeah, we will behave. We will not. Is that way? If you do something that Lord Nuevo sees as dissentful, he can kind of pressure on you to stop you from doing anything.
Yeah. By the way, okay, so I'm gonna roll on my own initiative. I'm gonna go ahead and roll an investigation to double check the contract for anything that seems not suspicious necessarily, but kind of out there. Like that's a weirdly specific thing to ask me.
Are you trained in investigation?
I am.
Are you trained in insight?
I'm not.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make investigation.
It is a weird combo there, I know.
Yeah, investigation works for this.
And I sucked at it, but 11.
As far as you can tell, the contract seems pretty normal. From what you were talking with the Smiths Guild and with Haas, it all seems on the up and up. Nothing seems surprising.
Nothing sinister, unlike the other people I deal with. Okay, cool. In which case I finished the paperwork off. Hand it off. I asked the clerk, can I hand this off to you, straight to the Lord?
The clerk says that I can take it, and I will deliver it to the Lord's advisors, who will oversee it. The Lord doesn't have time to be reading every document that crosses his path.
Of course. I guess I'll take a week or so. In the meantime, should I return here once I'd expect it's all done, or
if you could leave a place of contact for us to meet with you, we would be happy to send word when we've completed it.
Sure. Okay. Well, Haas gave me access to the Smiths Guild, was it?
He allowed
you to the people.
Yeah, he introduced you to the people. He didn't. You would still need him to be there because he's the member.
Damn it! I need housing. I'm gonna go ahead and give him the inn that we were staying at.
He could go in and ask to talk to somebody, right?
He could. He probably wouldn't get very far because he's not a member.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
Have you ever tried to get into the Elks Lodge?
No, I haven't.
It's a pain.
Wait, can you?
But like,
as a member, yes. If you have a member who invites you in, yes. Trying to get in on your own, it's a pain.
But he knows, like, say, Bob and Sue. Could he walk in and say, like, hey, I'd like to talk to Bob? Could I talk to Bob?
You could make the argument for that. It would take a little bit of a persuasion because you really only met them the one time.
True. I think it might just be a safer bet to just take him to the inn and wait it out.
Okay. And that will cost, obviously.
Sure.
Could you go ahead and make a really quick intelligence persuasion check?
Man, I am bad at half of these. Also, intelligence persuasion, but persuasion is charisma.
Yeah, you're allowed to flip-flop if one trait seems more in line with what you have in mind.
13.
13? Okay. Are you trained in persuasion?
I wish. That's something I'm.
Do you have a
by.
+2 in intelligence?
I thought I had a +1.
Yeah, but you rolled an 11.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. No, I'm saying persuasion is charisma. I have a 2 total bonus for persuasion.
But we're not using your charisma. We're using your intelligence.
Sorry, you're saying if I'm trained, then as well. Yes.
Yeah. It's your presentation through word.
Yeah.
As you present it to them.
I'm gonna double check something.
Yep.
Quickly. I'm weirded out here because I know the character may not be the most versatile one, but I swear I should have another skill or 2.
Well, I believe warlocks get 2. You get 2 for your background. That's usually about it. Maybe perception for being a wood elf.
Yes. Okay, so the 5 is correct.
Okay.
Wow, but I've spaced them out in such a dumb way. Wow. I've messed this up for myself. Because I don't have stealth, and I'm supposed to be stealthy. I don't have persuasion, and I'm supposed to be persuasive.
Well, you were going for a con man, and you're bad at lying.
I mean, I kind of built that into the character.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, fine.
So, cool. You have about 5 days of downtime before you are contacted to continue your guild.
Sure.
Do you want to do recruiting? Do you want to talk to somebody? Do you want to get a job?
I'm gonna go ahead with. Well, I've got enough money to.
Don't forget you have the letter for Lysander. Or letter from Ferris to Lysander about UA.
Yeah, about UA. Like, oh, hey, by the way, maybe you should talk to her. First things first, going to take that time to go talk to UA.
All right.
So a day to do that.
Sure.
The rest I'm going to work on recruiting if things go well.
Okay. In that case, it's going to be about 5 silver a night.
Yeah, okay.
So
5 nights so far.
So it'll be, in total, it'd probably be about 20 gold to just sleep in a tavern the whole time you're there.
Sure. That's not a problem for me.
Okay. And obviously, if you do like a job, you're able to usually mitigate the downtime costs.
Yeah. I'm honestly not sure what kind of job I could legitimately do aside from conning people.
Yeah, there's always jobs, but I leave that to your imagination. So right now, it is assumed that you will spend about 20 gold for your betting.
20 gold. You just said silver.
Right. It's 5 silver a day, 40 days.
Yeah.
So if you double it, it's 1 gold for 2 days. Cut it, and that's 20 days.
I was going week by week on that.
Okay.
Because I know in this case we haven't gotten through the first week yet.
Right.
So silver first, 20 silver for that week, or 5 days. I'm just making sure because that
It's
might work out.
it'd be 25 silver.
25. That's fine. Thank you.
All right. So that'll be a week. Day 2, you go contact UA. Head over to the Mages Guild. You are given an escort. If you, at this point, because you've often been making your way to the Necromancers, they hire the Necromancer Guide to escort you.
Okay.
The Necromancer Guide brings you into the Necromancer Tower.
Oh, I never met this guy. I just realized.
You haven't. This guy, he's a halfling, surprisingly.
Okay.
Dressed in black robes as expected.
Oh wait, no. Is it the little guy that we?
It is not the gnome.
Not the gnome. Okay.
That ornery gnome is still the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Where
this
his office is in the gate, basically.
This guy is definitely not that old. He seems fairly young. He's an accepted member, but he's not like a mage, not like a fully fledged mage or anything like that.
So he's just some initiate that just came on, probably.
Well, he's higher than an initiate because he has his black robes.
Okay.
But he introduces. He says hi. He says his name is Quentin.
Quentin, White Tower mage in training. Okay. So as we're walking, I just make small talk with him. I'm just like, oh, so what do? You seem new.
He says, "Oh, I do a bit of this, do a bit of that. I'm in the research field, trying to learn about life and death and how to stop one and change the other."
Wow, sounds like you should really start reading comic. No, how many character jokes? No, wait, no. Oh, philosophy. I like it.
He kind of nods. He's like, "You're the one who keeps kind of talking with you, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, Lysander. She talks about you a little bit here and there.
Well, that's good to hear.
You want to go talk to her, I assume?
Yep. That's
All right.
the plan today.
You are escorted into the Necromancer Tower. The ornery gnome just kind of grumbles at you, but the halfling guides you through. And the gnome just closes the door behind you. And you are allowed to head as you will.
All right, and down to UA.
Okay.
Assuming she's in the basement, because she's always in the freaking basement.
Quentin says that, yeah, she's down there. She's still trying to work on her latest project for advancement.
All right. Oh, hi. She's never not down there. Huh.
She has a room. You've just never accepted her offers to go there.
Oh, she hasn't asked? Okay,
She's asked you out for a drink twice.
Yeah, but she didn't ask me into her room. That's getting weird.
She asked you for a drink first because she's a lady.
Well, yeah, I think that's appropriate. Unless you do want to listen in.
Go ahead.
Sure. Okay.
You're escorted down to the basement?
Yep.
Okay.
Into the basement.
Down into the basement, you find her hard at work, dissecting a cadaver.
Hold my nose a little and then... Okay. UA.
Oh, Lysander, hi.
Hey, I'm back.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Yourself, you look to be working just as hard as always.
Just a advancement test coming up, and I just really don't want to fail.
I think you'll do fine. You seem like you're pretty studious.
I hope so. We'll see. And it's not up to me. It's up to the panel.
Oh, okay. Are they putting pressure on you?
No, just it's the final test. There's plenty of pressure already. Well, what did you want to talk to me about something?
Well, yeah. First things first. So the letters you sent me, I really do appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I didn't know where you were, so I sent letters to all of them.
Oh, thank you.
welcome.
That actually ended up coming in handy. I've received, I think, all of them at this point.
You only gave her 4 locations.
I got a lot of letters.
You got 4 letters.
Yep. Well, I got every single one of them, and I coincidentally happened to be in the exact places I needed to be in order to receive each of them, probably in the order you sent them. But in any case, thank you.
You're welcome.
I actually have a bit of a tale to tell about Archmage Vargasol. I'm sure he's been back for a bit.
I suppose some of the transmutationers have spoken about him being returned from a business sabbatical.
By business sabbatical, you might mean that me and my friends helped him out.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you let me know about the incident in his room, and me and my party that you met, at least one of before, they too. Also, we all found out about this, and we took the initiative to run to Alagon, and I tell her the tale.
Okay.
She's like, oh, we went, we fought a demon, it was pretty cool, and I also blasted the thing with a lot of blasts, and it was pretty sweet.
She seems suitably impressed.
All around, turned out okay.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you were able to get through it okay.
Yeah, I hope I'm not talking too much.
No, I like hearing you talk about your stories.
Okay. No, it's that response. It's like, okay, bye. Well, thank you. And actually, you don't talk a lot about your work. I just realized.
Well, my work is so trivial. It's already been done. It's just research and academics.
Practice makes perfect. That's how I've gotten where I am.
She nods.
That and a bit of help from friends and all, but like, how about this? You're busy with your finals and everything. How about that drink?
She says that would be lovely.
Do you have time available?
She says, yeah, I'm free tonight.
Oh no. Time for the dating simulator to begin.
This is a more extensive conversation than I expected it to be.
You expect me to just go, okay, hi, okay, bye.
No, I expected you to say, hi, it's never going to work out, I'm married. And then just be done with it.
No, I've got an idea of where I'm going with this.
Oh,
It's gonna hurt.
God.
So,
Trust me, it's awkward enough here.
I know. So we could speed past all the crazy shit. No. I do think that, actually, in character, I think that, yeah, we do need to talk a bit. I just want to make sure that, everything's going well with you in more depth. And
Yep.
I'll give you time to finish your stuff here.
Yep.
You said tonight you're available?
She says, yeah, I'm available tonight.
Sure. Well, I'm staying at the Inn. We could certainly sit and chat for a bit.
She says, great. And agrees to meet you there at that time.
Sure.
At the that evening, as you make your way back to the tavern and hang out, that evening she shows up flanked by a pair of glitterers.
Of course.
The glitterers join your glitterer at a nearby table and just kind of watch the young couple.
Jeez. One of them taking bets on whether or not it's going to work out. Okay. I'm saving my document just in case.
Totally.
Okay, notes. Offered to get her a drink. To get her a drunk. Nope, I misspelled that. Okay, so... Alright, so she arrives. Sit down. What do you normally drink?
She says that she'll have a sarsaparilla.
Oh, okay. Go with more of the chaste route. Alright, sure.
It's hardly chaste, but it's a low-level alcohol.
Well, I mean, sarsaparilla... Oh, sorry. Modern context, that's just root beer.
Oh. I was thinking more of like the the Western, like, sarsaparilla is a reduced alcohol.
Okay.
Because, like, most people drank some kind of alcohol because that was all they had.
Yeah.
It's
also-
alcohol or water.
Also because the water sucked.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, no, that works.
Yep. Sarsaparilla's all around.
Alright, I purchased that. How much does that cost?
Just go ahead and knock off a silver. It buys each of you 2 drinks.
Perfect.
With a tip.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Well, goodbye.
So,
I love Maui. He's such a dick.
Everything about this movie is so well done.
Oh, it's good.
Plus, like,
Water-
Maui has this
water-
awesome character development scene in the final battle, where, like, he's without my hook, I am nothing.
Yeah, he sacrificed.
And then he loses the hook, and then he still, like, throws the hook aside and just insults Teika. I was like, fight me! I love that. Just because it's a fantastic moment. Anyway, back to your dating sim.
Oh, jeez. Because I'm not trying to do that.
What's that, Rose?
Well, you're the one who used the language. What are you doing?
I think it's a joke, but yeah.
You're buying drinks for her.
Buy a drink. Alright.
You conversate. You have a lot of small talk, and
Chat a
you.
bit. And at one point, I make sure during the conversation to keep it not, like, platonic. No, like, oh, by the way, I'm to my room tonight. Kind of stuff. At one point during the conversation, Lysander kind of not abruptly stops what's being talked about, but more just kind of diverts the conversation. Okay, well, besides your studies, my adventures, all the stuff going on, There's something I gotta talk to you about.
You don't even need an insight check to watch her
Yeah.
her face kind of blush, and you can see her heart kind of leap up into her throat. And she says, "Yeah."
Oh, jeez. I think she failed her insight check. I just want to make sure that we're on similar terms about where things are with us. Because I don't want to lead you in a direction that is untoward or outside of a set. I don't want to lead you in a direction where you think that I'm bad at this.
She seems confused because the language isn't quite what she was expecting.
She was expecting like, take me now, let's go to your room.
She was expecting more like, she was expecting some of the nervousness because she's known you a little bit, but she wasn't expecting like the untoward, I hope you don't think I'm leading you down the wrong path. So she's still not quite getting the picture.
Oh, jeez. There's something about my background I haven't talked about a lot. And I should probably come clean now before any kind of problems arise.
She says, what is it?
I info-dumped the story of Lysander's wife.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Jeez. Jeez.
I really hope you roll high because I like you. I don't want her to be angry at you.
Oh, please. No. That's not good.
About 2/3 of the way through the story, she gets the picture.
Oh.
She breaks down crying and runs.
Oh my god. You ain't know. Oh, jeez. Well.
The female Starfield comes over and says, "You just cost me a lot of money."
Mm-hmm.
She kind of gives you a pat and says, "Drink."
Please.
She kind of 2 shots are set down. She throws a gold coin.
I take both.
She's like, "Dick!" She gives you a slug in the arm with her gauntleted hand. I was like, I wanted one of those.
Well, now my outside feels like my inside.
She takes a gold, hands it to the bar, like to the waiter, asks for 2 more shots, and then takes them, hands you one of them.
And I push back and just take them.
And she says, like, 2 moments.
And then hands her the other because I feel bad about the...
She hands it off to a random stranger and is like, "Hey, have a drink."
Oh,
yeah!
She didn't want the other drink, whatever.
She's on duty. She can only have one.
Well, Lysander gets trashed to the end. Jeez.
So,
All down to the 1 roll. Crap. If I rolled a nat 1, it would have been even worse.
oh yeah, she probably would have like attacked you.
Jeez.
You wait, talk in date /
Crap.
break up. That's a damn shame. Maybe she'll still come back. You can always try and make her come in. Did you want to do anything with the rest of your time?
For the day, drink. For the
This
rest.
is at night.
Okay. For the rest of the week, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the original plan. Start soliciting for members.
Okay.
Making up flyers if need be. And
So, for each of the days leading up to it, go ahead and make a persuasion check. Yeah, we'll just call it persuasion.
I kind of want to use another die because these keep screwing me. Sure.
Just make sure you roll on the pad.
Oh, of course, because it's heavy.
Yes.
That's what check? Sorry.
Persuasion.
Okay, so 10.
10. You were able to get that one guy that Morass talked about.
That works.
For the next day, go ahead and make another persuasion check.
Sure. So we got 1. Okay, what's going on? Got 5, yeah.
No real luck on the second day, unfortunately.
Man, if this turns out to be a bust. God. Yeah, sorry.
Oops.
13.
Okay. You're able to get a couple of people. They each have... Hold on. Recruit. Day 5. Recruit 2. All right. You're able to get about 2 people. They join in. They seem interested in what you're pillaging or pilfering, whatever.
Doing.
Yes.
Pilfering? No, I'm not creating a rogues guild here.
Not yet.
They could turn out badly.
This is your last day.
Yeah, checking by the way for the week. But just checking here. All right, so that's 3 people in total to start with.
Right.
Each of them, if they were to pay dues, I'm already basically covered.
You've covered.
Oh, jeez.
You've covered your taxes.
Yeah, not the rest.
You haven't really covered supplies and upkeep.
Yeah, that's gonna be the problem. That's gonna come out of my pocket if I have to.
Yeah.
Deal with that. That's what?
You meet
And
Yue
I-
on the street. Yue just looks at you and turns and starts to walk away.
Well, I let her go. I don't want to cause more drama. Same week, that's all happened.
Okay. So at the end of day 6,
Maybe I should
you
just stop rolling dice.
start playing cards. At the end of day 6, you receive word that your paperwork is all in order and you have permission to begin your guild.
Okay. Wow, they didn't even really need a list of members.
They will expect an up-to-date list of members at the end of each month.
Okay, so I have 3 members to start with.
Yep.
So I could realistically spend the rest of the month just diving into my work.
You could.
Because that's probably the best thing to do emotionally.
So you're going to dive into your work?
Yeah, let's every day go for more members.
Okay.
I want to build this up. I want to make sure that the warehouse space is cleaned out because I'm pretty sure it's been in disrepair. Nobody's used it in a while.
Yeah.
So plenty of sweeping, plenty of cleaning, and then getting supplies to really start kicking off the arts part of the guild.
So how are you doing your process for new members? Like to join, you knew from the Smiths Guild that typically what's done is there's a proof of proficiency where somebody shows off that they have skills enough to warrant joining the guild. Then there's a contest of there's a proof of proficiency, contest of skill where they have to, in some sort of contested event, they have to prove that they are still really good.
Okay.
Like a different skill. So like for a mage,
So there's a vetting process.
yeah, like for a mage, you have to present that you know spells. Then you have to present against another mage, typically in a non-lethal magical duel, to prove that you are skilled enough. And then there's an oath, and there's also usually like a pseudo step where you select or are chosen for a sponsor.
Okay.
I was like, some guilds will let you meet a couple people and talk about it. Some people expect you to have a sponsor selected before you come to them. Some people will assign you a sponsor.
Oh, pardon me, that's fine.
So, how are you handling it?
Well, it sounds like a pretty good structure to start with. I think that the one thing I would change there is that there's no need for a challenge among artists, I would think.
Typically, it's against a more skilled person, but the challenge is like, it's kind of like an Iron Chef show-off.
I got that, yeah.
And it's like, usually the more experienced person doesn't do their best work, they just do an adequate job, just so that way like they can compare like, okay, this person is able to accomplish this task.
Yeah, in which case, I think for the sake of getting membership numbers up to start with, maybe this isn't the best way to do it, but I think it's a way to show that this is not a guild that's cutthroat. This is about collaboration. I just want to hold these types of challenges. Probably to start with, if we're starting with the arts of the artists/artisans thing, painting contest or sculpture, or whatever people are more proficient in among the group. And then at the end, instead of doing the whole thing of, oh, well, you know, I select you, it's, you know what? You all did a pretty good job. You're all in. Here's some constructive criticism, and everyone else, you know, Socratic seminar here.
Okay, so it's a collaborative collaborative presentation.
Precisely. Yeah, it's like it's a bit of a surprise for them. I don't tell them. I put the pressures on them so they do well. But at the end, go. You know what? How about all of us powwow about this? Let's critique.
And then the oath of faith to the guild.
Yes. Because at that point, I mean, oh, and by the way, guys, gotta pay it.
Yeah.
I'd actually be willing to subsidize their membership costs to start with until we get up to 15 members, and we can really start going from there.
So why don't you just go ahead and we'll say you're.
I'm afraid to roll this, but yeah.
Well, first, let's say you just go ahead and knock off another 10 gold to subsidize your 3 members. Each of them gets subsidized 3 gold, essentially.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
And could you also just do me a favor? At this point, the guild has actually started. It starts on point 1, or starts on the 1st of Marpanoff, almost perfectly. That's perfect. So like at this point, you have now your money comes into play. So like the month of Marpanoff that you're currently in is all paid up, but you're gonna have to start paying your dues going forward. And so I'm assuming you're gonna spend.
You okay? Okay. Just holding his ears, I guess. I mean, I'm hearing some sort of a ringing noise from over there. I'm not sure what that is. You might be getting distracted by that.
I'm assuming you said you were going to spend the next basically the rest of your downtime getting this guild going as best you can.
And sulking, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, not sulking for the entire thing. I probably should have let her off sooner. So, okay.
In terms of, are you going to be sleeping in the guild, or are you going to stay in the tavern? At this point, your money has run out in the tavern.
I think once I'm able to reasonably have a sleeping area set up in the guild, because I'd imagine the guild members are also part of paying their dues, is like they want a place to stick around.
Some people have their own places, but yeah, there is the expectation that there will be quarters if they need it.
Yeah.
It's like the idea of like if you go to any other town that has one of these guilds, they can expect a place to sleep.
Okay, in which case, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm thinking just setting up a sleeping area, which I think would kind of be priority for this guild to start with. How much is that going to cost in materials? My question.
In materials, it doesn't cost too much. We're going to go ahead and say, I have no idea how much furniture costs. The things you need to learn as a DM. We'll go ahead and say knock off a 10 gold. It buys you.
That's a fair amount of stuff.
It buys you about 4 beds.
Okay. Mattresses and all.
Mattresses and frames. It's really more like straw stuffed pallets, but like it buys you 4 of them that you can then put in part of the warehouse, and like eventually you could get renovations to sort of cordon it off. But first, to start with, it gives you a place to rest your head.
Yeah, and since we're in an isolated place that hasn't really been operating in a while, it's not like people are going to come here to rob us.
Right.
Yeah, we're basically alone right now, which is fine. Guild meetings, by the way, I'm just realizing that there's going to be one, probably.
There is.
Monthly get-togethers.
The guild meeting, it happened before you were a recognized guild, so you did not have to attend the first one. They happen at the end of the month.
Okay. And
so
it's not required that I come to the first?
It's not because you weren't a recognized guild.
Okay.
Throughout your month, some of the guild members will probably be making an appearance and asking you about what's going on, because like, oh, you're the new kid on the block, what's going on here? Typically the structure is on the 45th of the month, you have a guild meeting, you discuss, make sure everything's vegan kosher, there's no problems. Then on the 1st of the month, you pay your dues to the Lord.
Okay, in which case, given the time frame of what's going on with my downtime, it's going to end right before that.
Your downtime is going to end 2 weeks before that.
Oh, jeez. In which case, I might want to pay ahead of time, in case any kind of shenanigans happen.
Right.
And that's not me metagaming, that's in character, like, yeah, I said in a month I'll be meeting the guys and now all gone. That's a good idea.
It makes sense, and depending on how your rolls go, I think you'll find something very useful in that regard coming your way.
Sure. Speaking of which, okay, so if I'm spending that much time, how are we going to handle rolls for that? Because I could roll with 2 dice at a time and just start churning it out.
I'm gonna say roll with 2 dice at a time. The problem is that the DC flexes according to what happens the day before.
Okay, so 1 at a time is fine, or
no, 2 at a time is fine.
Okay. How many days do we have in total?
Right now you have 34 days left.
That's a lot of days to do recruiting and setup.
You're doing recruiting. You haven't really bought supplies yet for the artists?
That's the next thing. Okay, how much is that going to cost, just to throw that down?
Go ahead and knock off another 10 gold. It buys a lot of like some of the food, some extra furniture, a lot of the painter's supplies. And we'll say going forward, it's 10 gold per month for supplies, to replenish supplies that were used. Some people might come to you with specific requests, and that will cost differently. But
Were you back in the office, buddy?
Man, I have a lot of rolling costs going.
Right now, right now you're at about 30 gold a month just to maintain baseline. But
So I'm going to go ahead
and those costs might change as I tweak this because we're in brand new territory here.
yeah. I do know in other D&D versions, gold to silver to copper, whatever, it was a weird conversion, right? Like, you could technically buy a cow for 1 silver. And here, we're throwing silver and gold around like crazy. I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a sword is 5 gold.
I consider a gold like $20 kind of thinking.
Okay. I mean,
Or no, I'm sorry. Silver is like $20, gold's like $100 or something like that.
okay.
Like I'm not exactly sure how much a full bed costs, but I'd assumed it costs about 1 gold.
Yeah,
or something
I mean,
like that.
when you really break it down, a bed, when not manufactured, is just pieces of wood and then straw in a bag.
All right. So,
Okay.
What's that?
did you want 2 more dice to make the rolls go by faster?
Sure.
There you go.
Oh boy.
There's probably just one.
Or just use a random number generator, but that's not in the spirit of this.
What?
Ah, jeez. I just hate how I've been rolling, because it's all been bad. I've gotten no really good rolls today.
Okay.
Be a shame.
You don't want to get stuck.
Hey,
It's okay.
that's 3 good.
Sure. So if it's a persuasion...
Hello.
Hey! So if it is a persuasion, then it's a +2 to each of these.
Yep. So, this one doesn't do great.
Yeah.
These 3 do pretty good for you. So you get another 2, 5. You get another 8
Probably getting close.
recruitment.
So,
Okay, so 11 members. Wow, we're actually getting up there quickly.
Yep.
And that's in 4 days of
How was
time.
your
Wow, there is an interest here after all. I don't know what everyone was talking about with the whole, oh, what do you mean? There's no arts here. People don't do that. Or, I mean, it wasn't that phrasing, but you know.
All right.
Okay, so...
Go ahead and roll for the next 4 days.
Sure.
Yep.
Wait, along with. Oh, your copy. Okay. Yeah.
So, you just missed the big breakup.
Uh-oh, what happened?
And you'll find out. Yeah, jeez. Back to
Alright.
these. So 13, 14.
Unfortunately, you gain no new recruits.
Heroes and villains.
Well, shoot. And during this time, would it also be useful to have the other recruits start really getting production going?
They start getting their production going. A couple, like,
Oh, okay.
you probably are asking them to help you with cleaning up the guild because the guild still needs to be cleaned.
Yeah, basic stuff.
So they're mostly helping with that, kind of getting the guild up and running. So day 14, correct?
They're probably like.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Let's see. Is there anything else I can be doing during this time? Now that I think about it, because I mean, getting new members is great, but I realize there's not a lot else to do unless I direct a specific project.
Right now, like, you're kind of walking the streets, putting out flyers, making promotions, that kind of thing. So, and you don't really have, like, you have some lower level members, but they're more interested in the arts.
Yeah.
You don't really have, like, an overhead or a structure to have people delegate this to.
So I really need to get a fair amount of members before that gets started. So hitting that 15 mark is around where things start getting interesting.
Right.
Is it just
Okay.
today or?
And you need to roll, like, up around a 15 to get them.
Yep. Oh boy. Well, here we go.
Now that you have kind of plumbed the depths of the people who have an interest but no skill, now you're trying to have to work a little harder to get the actual interest.
Go for the more skillful ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh jeez. Oh wow. Dude, I got an interesting spread there. Okay. So one day, nothing.
So, with the natural 20, you're able to get 2 people,
Okay.
and let's see, that's day 18.
I'm counting them as equal skill level right now, or?
Yeah, like right now, some of them are better than others, obviously, but most of them have like, it's sort of assumed that like they will naturally spread themselves out by rank.
So that's.
But that brings you up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people and yourself.
So 13 total.
Right. You're getting close.
And one more days. So I'm getting close here. I want to get over that threshold.
Some sort of like planting thing going on at the
I need a dice tower.
I have a dice tower, I just didn't think to bring it.
Oh, okay, that's
There we go.
Not bad at all. Damn, okay. 19, and
Yep.
5.
With these, you're able to get 2, 4, you're able to get 6 people.
And here we go, we're over a threshold where I'm now making money.
Showing off the things to do. So like that would be the time to go. If you want to
At this point, I would lower.
Right.
I keep the subsidization for the first. What was it? The first 3 people who joined.
You did. You paid them. Did you want to pay for the other members who joined?
Yeah.
The idea here is that
Are you
once we
doing
meet
anything
15
tomorrow?
members, that's around the point where I'd start leveling it off.
Okay.
I do want to still assist because we're still a small group, but
So
relatively speaking.
I'm assuming with these lower level recruits, you probably don't want to subsidize them as much
That's the idea.
because there's 10 of them.
Yeah. Once you're at the
Be nice.
so that's 10 regular level and then 8 others.
Exactly.
Right. Now that you hit the threshold, you can start saying like, okay, some of you have to pay a little bit more. We're actually getting a basis. You are like everyone helping out. The warehouse looks nice.
Yeah.
It's basically like a giant studio apartment
Yeah.
with pallets and like he bought tables and supplies. So like people have a place to do their business. So you've started getting the ball rolling on this.
Sure. And now I'm going to start splitting my days a bit. So
Okay.
how much time do I have left?
Right now you have about 18 days before you should be in Allegan. To get there is about a day and a half, so round it to 2 days. So you have a total of 16.
About 16. That's not bad at all. I could keep growing, or I could invest in the business a little.
Okay.
Sure. So recruiting's great and all.
So I
I'm going to go ahead and spend the next 4 days rounding that out.
Okay.
But then afterwards, I'm going to start investing in. I'll talk about that in a second. See what happens. Big money, no whammies. Oh, not bad actually. 14, 14,
Okay.
19, 17.
This 15 is unfortunately too low now with your numbers.
Damn. Okay.
Your 17 is enough.
Oh,
Your,
well, it's 19 and a 17 if we're talking about.
right. Like 15 plus 2 is not enough. 17 plus 2 is. You are able to get 2 people.
Oh, sweet.
One of them is a blue-skinned elf.
I love going to so awesome.
Blue skin is a thing. It's representative of high intelligence high elves.
I worked at a movie theater.
As the high elf comes in,
High school, I worked at a movie
they say that they were brought in by
And
a friend
shortly after he died, the movie contacted
to assist you with
And
maintaining
they
the
had
business.
I can already see where this is going.
And the dedication.
So hold up. All right. So he's the interesting one.
They said,
Yes.
here's what the plant wall will be.
So
Have you done the plant wall?
I haven't. No, I just when I was going to the science center.
obviously
I was like, oh, I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah. It's a very pleasant walk.
I don't need to roll
And
any
it's
kind
neat.
of thing to know this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. I got you.
Your thinking is your
And
own.
At some point, they
I should have hinted that at some point. Like, oh, you.
plaques on plaques on plaques.
Some-
At some
something-
point, they
something like
had this thing
statues.
Where the telephone number for each of the
Maybe that's
statues. I don't know if you
pressing
saw
too
it
much.
when you looked
But
at
no, I welcome him aboard.
And,
The other guy's not as
Bill
interesting.
Nye reads
He's more of a higher.
The other one is there's elves, there's halflings, there's humans, there's dwarves. None of them are like some of the elves have different colored skin, but most of them are acceptably humanoid. This is the only one who kind of came up to you and was like, "Hey,"
Freaking obvious. Like, hey, River King, am I right, Bob?
and he says that if you need somebody to handle the business when you are away, just leave it to what's one of the names from Midsummer's Night's Dream?
Crap, I could take a few.
It's good.
You're gonna go full on with that?
Oh, when I found out that Hermia was stolen straight out of there too.
I didn't say. I told you ahead of time.
I didn't know it when you told me.
I mean, if you're gonna go with literally a courtesan of Oberron, Puck works, I guess, because
I thought about Puck. It was kind of stupid.
you don't want to go high level with that. With like, oh yeah, by the way, he's literally just a fae. There's a few. Wow. Who's one that's not horrible?
Nice.
which is what.
I guess Demetrius works fine.
Right.
So we'll give that a shot.
Give him.
I got a list in front of me. If you
Okay. What was the name?
We got a ton of them.
Okay.
So we got Oberron, yeah, Hippolyta,
Caverns. I know we played them all together, but it was
Aegis,
fun. So I figured
Demetrius.
We'll say Demetrius. That sounds fine.
Every time
Sure.
you play it based on what monsters you get. So.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Okay.
I should check for it.
So Demetrius says that he can handle any business running if you're not
Must have
available.
officers.
Fantastic.
And yes, at this point with your Demetrius, you notice, puts a hand into a pocket and pulls out the gold that he needs to pay
Uh-huh.
and hands it to you. And he seems to have pulled it from an empty pouch.
And
Neat
she
trick.
apparently did a Kickstarter.
Like that.
I didn't know about
A man with bottomless pockets. That's a terrible joke.
I believe at this point, yeah, you can cut the subsidizing. You have a decent place to work. the warehouse is running at peak efficiency.
For the first, what was that, about 8 members or so, I subsidized 3 GP each.
Yep.
First month, I'm gonna have to do the calculations on this, but okay. So got a fair amount of actual income.
The only reason I mentioned
That's interesting.
Mom
Okay.
dropped off their
Your
copy of it.
your source of income will mostly not be available for you to use.
I know it's
It'll-
more for a guild.
But,
Yeah, it'll be guild
Did you
business.
see anybody?
Unless you want to be accused of embezzlement.
I'm not gonna be doing that now.
Okay.
I was thinking about it.
Awesome.
That's not happening.
I'm just doing like
Okay,
a buddy
what
right now with
else?
all my second graders.
I got plenty of time to just keep rolling.
You got 14 days left.
The alternative is that you want to speed along.
That's awesome.
You can drag it off.
That's so cool.
And Paul's on his way soon.
That's so cool. They're
So investing in the
apparently
business
did
is
well enough to
to
do the
do.
second
I want to actively sponsor, like, I guess for lack of a better term, an art
And is it
fair.
all gonna be
Like getting
buddies or are they gonna
Okay.
be
people to actually
Yeah.
check out the new
I guess it's
location
just funny.
because nobody's coming around here unless someone's dragging them to the warehouse.
Totally. Yeah, that is definitely something you could do.
That's awesome.
I would say you would probably wait up until about day 30.
Okay.
That way you have you've collected a following and you have the resources kind of pooled together to be able to fire off on
So
it.
in how many days? That's another.
It's about 4 days.
Okay, so I could do one more round of recruiting.
Sure.
Right before really kicking things into high gear. Hey, the guild's working out, so at least there's that. You guys will know about this soon enough if you aren't already paying attention.
Mine took like half an hour.
Have an hour to 40 minutes, something like
I'm
that.
taking way too long.
Things are progressing about as much as I expected. I expected about an hour a person.
Yeah, like for me, it was
The 19
Yeah.
will get you one more person.
Sweet. And how would I categorize him? Higher level member?
He's a mid-level member.
Okay.
Like
so,
people,
right next
like
to the fridge.
some are high, some are low. It's kind of just spreading itself out according to skill.
Okay. So
Without like a dedicated hierarchy, that's basically what they're going for.
I think it was too wet.
I have
It looks
the
like it's
one
sinking a little bit.
who's like, yeah.
The
he's
one
running-
who's
he's
just-
running this place when I'm not here.
Showed up out of nowhere and just started running things.
Which I will start chatting with a bit.
Okay.
During those days of recruiting, I drag him along for a day and go, so, Demetrius,
Ready. Hopefully.
don't want to drag out the conversation too long, but essentially, okay, so I kind of get why you came to me.
Warm, ready food.
Just guessing.
I'm.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm here to serve the artist guild and see it flourish.
Play the same.
I'd imagine.
Michael's our
Well, no, if your intentions are pure in that way, fantastic.
Oh, of course.
I trust you on this. So here's my life story.
You don't-
I just chat with him while we're advertising.
Was that?
Doesn't help that you know
You
who
can-
Do I get to know anything about him?
Yeah, you learn that he's actually a very, very, very low-level warlock, like level 1.
Oh, I have an apprentice.
No, I
No.
Oh, okay.
He tells you to fuck right off if you say that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
But he basically just says, like, yeah, he stumbled upon the Archfey in the middle of a Midsummer Night's Festival, got swept up in the craziness, and
Wait,
woke up.
but isn't it spring?
Yeah, and he says that it happened about over a year ago, and he's been working ever since.
I'm thinking it's funny. He's only level 1. It's been a year. Wow, this guy does not adventure much.
No, he doesn't. Most people don't.
What do you normally do for
Says
the big guy?
I kind of promote, I move around, I act as a voice here and
It
there.
was. I think it was when she was taking TJ. She she
Well,
cried.
I mean, you're certainly useful here, and I appreciate your assistance.
He smiles and says,
Warren was
I'm
very
glad to
much-
hear that. I want to serve this guild.
Okay.
She likes to be
Seems a little robotic for a person who's probably dealing with a lot of existential crises because of this. But
and like her playstyle.
He rolls his eyes at you.
And
Day 30, you have a very successful artist fair. We'll say that you could, with the extra gold you've acquired, you were able to pay for the sponsorship. You're still kind of guarded a little bit by the glitterers, but overall things go well.
good. So overall, that's turned out well. Okay. And any days remaining here?
10 days. What would you like to do?
I could just keep going with recruiting. I'd imagine after a fair, enrollment should hopefully be up.
Sure. Go ahead.
4 days worth of that.
And it
also-
takes 2 days to get to out.
Oh, 2 days. Okay, so if 10 days, then I should get going in 2 days.
Yes.
I didn't hear it.
You
Other
can
thing
get 2
is-
rolls in.
So
he was over kind of near the sink.
Okay, good question here.
Once he dumped it in the
Have I
sink,
bumped into the assassin probable guy
for some
anytime
reason
recently?
developed this tendency, I
Did you
think
try
it
to?
was-
I mean, I keep an eye out for him. And
Okay.
we're in public spaces advertising, so.
You never really
He
bump
definitely
into him. He
Normally
seems to
he'll
keep
a few
himself.
steps, no, he's done, he'll dump it in the
to
sink,
himself.
but I can notice that when he's first
Yeah,
making
that's
fire
fair.
or whatever,
Also, crap, I
he-
told him to meet me over by you
before
guys.
this way, it didn't
That's. Oh no, now I have the X problem. Oh jeez, but she wasn't even an X. Oh my god. Okay, so let me do the roll.
Go ahead and roll.
Oh please, no whammies.
Unfortunately, no new recruits. Go ahead and only roll 2 days.
More important stuff going on at the end.
That's not worry, I give Rose.
I'd imagine.
I don't give her water as an option nearly as much as I should.
Not have bad actually. 17 and a 16.
Unfortunately, you've already gotten
I think
everybody.
I'm at that level where it's like, yeah. So I've got 21 people.
You're a self-sustaining artist guild in a place that didn't have one before, but you're not really gathering any new members right now. Maybe as things progress, as you elevate your status, you sort of present yourself more and more.
Sure, they will pee out
Alright.
closer.
On day 36, I would like for you to step into the kitchen with me.
Oh sure.
But he's a tactile or he learns by touching things.
Did I mention the coffee stuff?
You did not, but I will be taking some of that, thank you.
Same here. I will.
And you guys feel like we hit it pretty hard, so you'll have to share and I'll make one.
Okay. You go ahead and get yours first.
No, you first.
Oh, thank you.
That's seriously fine. Okay, so
Day 36, you've come in after a hard day of trying to recruit. It seems like you've tapped everybody who can hold a paintbrush or work a chisel. And you are somewhat surprised when a blue-skinned, green-eyed, bluish hair leading to green, elf-looking figure, but a little bit taller than you'd expect an elf to be, steps into the Artists Guild,
well,
dressed in very fine clothing.
Oh, hello. Welcome to Summer. Oh,
Hi.
coffee.
He kind of just gestures his fingers and he summons his own cup. He says, I'm good.
Figured. Checking in on your investment.
You could say that. Now that you've made good on this part of the deal, it's time for us to alter the deal.
Oh, don't.
Do you have a place we can talk privately and discuss business?
Yeah, so I don't think we fought. I mean, like,
Come into my office.
You head over to the table that's set in a corner with a sheet hung up. And he kind of,
I'm getting started.
he doesn't make any comment on it. He pulls the chair that you were going to sit in, sits in it, and throws his boots up onto the table.
You know, I'm technically running the guild right now. You haven't taken over or anything.
Well,
Unless this is a hostile takeover.
I don't do anything hostile.
Yeah, so we duct taped him.
Says the man who took my whatever.
The thing
Okay,
we used to hang
sure.
He
What
says-
do you want?
for draining it
I have a gift,
and hung up.
and I have a deal.
I thought we already had a current deal. In my life as a freelancer, I've learned you don't normally do more deals until you've been paid out for one. Or
Well-
in this case, have checkboxes filled.
This deal, I think we got off on the wrong foot. We need to renegotiate the terms. Quite simply, I'm altering the deal. Please have a seat.
Sure.
You sit down. He says,
Yeah, what are you doing?
do you want the gift first or the deal?
I want the details of the deal. What's going on?
Fine.
I'm not
He
taking.
says-
I'm not taking a freebie. I want to know what I'm getting myself into.
I'd hardly call it. Here's the deal. You have been shouting. You literally can't escape him, can you? You have been spouting throughout the whole time your life story. The big mean Oberron steals your wife.
Oh no, it's that I lost my wife. I don't specifically, and he does not specifically say, "Oh yeah, Oberron, by the way, he's a dick." I say that I lost my wife and I'm looking to find her and get her back.
Yeah, totally. I believe you.
So you're asking for a gag order?
No. Quite simple. He summons up the contract. For what I have planned, I need people who want to work for me, not people who are forced to work for me. So, this deal
Okay.
it literally burns up in
I
smoke.
was surprised.
Can I please
So, like,
see
my neighbor
the
growing up,
my spy? he has he has since gone West Coast. Worked for
Hands it over.
Has that been the entire time?
He kind of rubs it, and
it turned out
it
he was doing supply chain.
squeezes out this thick, white, milky substance
Okay, that's a little out there, man.
Then he takes the carcass and he sets it down. He says, "Don't worry, it'll recharge in a few days."
Yeah, she likes him.
He says,
I like that.
"Here's the new deal, Lysander."
Right.
Slides it to you. You drink that,
Yeah.
you and I,
She gets the
we're done.
Most
You give me back my powers, I give them to somebody else, and you can go do whatever you want.
last weekend we had a long weekend.
Do you want the gift now?
No, hold up. Well, you're just letting me off.
You will lose all your powers, just like everybody else, but sure.
She got it as a golden hangs from those.
What's the gift? Like, before you give it, what are you doing?
I think you really like this part. He snaps his fingers, you hear a
And basically she
and a couple people are like, "What the hell?" And you turn around, there is the statue of Hermia right behind you. You watch as Oberron pulls out a small vial. He says, "Your wife was suffering from a sickness. Took me a while to get that cure going. I'm sure you understand the Feywild time is a little finicky. And I had to trade a contract here, a couple of deals with the mothers over there. Titania, wow, she was on something.
I get it. Marital issues. What is it?
That will cure her of her illness. You can find some caster around here, I'm sure, to reverse the stone effect.
But I could have just done that at any time.
Well, the stone was to preserve her. That cures her."
You're telling me you did me a favor?
if I didn't have a kid.
I know, shocking, isn't it?
That doesn't sound very much like you. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I mean that you seem...
He kind of gets up from the table and starts walking around a bit.
I was waiting for you to make a damn choice.
So, you have a choice. Your wife is back. You have her with my blessing. May you go forth and spawn many children. You and I need people who want to work for me. Who don't
It's neat. Like
buck and fight and claw and
It's-
wheedle at every decision.
the game would play whether they're
Drink that potion?
there or not.
You and I are square.
It's not a good game.
I go to my place. You do whatever the
I
hell
mean,
you want.
if there was a
I think I'll keep the
co-op,
artist
if there was
skill.
rolling
Thanks.
dice, the game would finish the same as if we were playing.
And if I
But
don't...
the only thing you do is you're rolling dice,
Well,
and maybe someone gets a
Then
sandwich.
you and I will know that you are here because you want to be here.
It's basically bingo, but it's
I'm not holding anything over your head.
you know.
No, you kind of are.
That's
So-
why
so I
Rose
understand
got
the
to
deal.
play West,
So the
whereas
idea here is
other
either-
games, which actually there's
I drink
more.
the potion, get all his powers stripped, and then
visual acuity.
kind of be on my way with the wife, or I'm trying to figure out what the logistics are. He hasn't offered a really big downside to saying no.
Here's how it works. You get your wife back.
Mhm.
I've fixed her. Well, I've given you the means to fix her yourself.
Sure.
What I have planned for people like you, I need people who want to work for me. You have been very stubborn. So, this is your moment to walk away, free of charge.
So,
Or you can continue being a warlock, working for me, going off and doing heroic deeds.
Well, I mean, like that company, how HABA,
crap.
like they actually have on the box. So like
that's actually
this
a really
game
big
goes-
decision to make. It's not a character.
Okay.
God. Okay.
I'm
wow.
assuming this is in your mind's eye. You're thinking about all these
This
things.
isn't
They
thinking out loud.
like they make a ton of games.
I'm thinking. I'll admit, I'm thinking out of character a little bit about the logistics. Like, okay, crap, we don't have another cast. We don't have that caster anymore. But hey, gets rid of a big character draw. Like, the reason that my character does his thing. But on top of that, this could all be a lie of sorts, and he'll go, cool, here's the cure. Oh yeah, so you're gonna go ahead and
Like Orchard Gate
not
is
have
neat.
powers for me? Okay, I'll smash the vial.
You're-
You could totally pull
It's a
something.
cooperative game against the board, and
As a face, probably not lying about the
and
whole
you're either
this is a
picking
cure
up,
thing. But there are other ways around that.
or to put
He
in your
said-
basket, or you roll a crow.
That potion will last for 10
Pull
days.
a piece in the middle, and
So in that time, I have
once
to go
they're 9
get
puzzle
on
pieces
stone.
rows.
You have 10 days to decide
So the idea is you're picking
what you
up
want to do.
Okay, I do that.
You're picking up the.
At the end of those 10 days, and that potion is gone, I will take that as a yes.
And there is some very light strategy
No, at least there's not.
for the kids to figure out. So it's, but it's also like it's for for kids younger than
I've been hearing
colors.
some of the thoughts you've been saying.
I'm worried.
I have never.
I'm not the bad guy, Lysander.
Maybe you can open up about what those plans are. I'm more willing to work with you if I know that it's for a cause I can agree with.
Do you ask an ant whether or not
I'm pretty sure
you will gather food for his queen?
Well, no, but that's because you're not conscripting ants, you're conscripting people.
Yeah. There's a lot of you on this tiny little speck of land, isn't there?
I mean, I'm not going
I
to
actually
disagree with
bought
that,
a
but
copy of Pandemic Legacy in conjunction with Patty, and that's one of the games that
You have the world,
we
right?
try to drag out when we
That world,
actually meet up and go to the
a
cabin.
little microcosm. Hardly worth my time. What I have going on in Feywild, I need people who are willing to do what I say. I need obedience. I need people who are powerful and strong agents to work against the Unseelie Court.
That could
okay,
be.
well, that's probably a good thing.
It's a little bit slower, I think.
Just because you don't understand what I'm trying to do doesn't mean you can't agree with what I'm trying to do.
Well, you're right about that, but it makes me less
like,
likely if I have no idea what my employer
That's
or
because
commander is planning.
And it's not
And here's your moment.
like basically like he knows
So I've got 10 days
he
to think.
sees
Yeah, you got 10
he
days.
looks the board
Yeah, you
and
can
then
tell him
all he
what
sees is
conflict
strings
it
of numbers.
I
It's like
will
one of those
think
things.
over
It's
it.
like, I know that if I get one of these positions, I have a certain percentage.
Okay.
I
How
once
you?
saw this
Oh,
thing and
well, I
it
shouldn't
was
ask how you're contacting me because
like
you've
a
got
list
many,
of,
many
like,
ways of
10
doing
ways
that.
to
Oh yeah,
absolutely
I've got Demetrius, a couple other
And I was like,
Fey
oh,
hidden through the
yeah,
organization,
it's like-
and
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
know
like
when that
figure
potion
out
expires.
myself, but I
Wait, even
learned
more
enough
fit?
now that
What?
I can usually
Okay.
go play with people who have
Oh, he's really doing political job game. Okay.
See, here's the thing.
I don't have to.
If you leave,
really good.
I'll just
Yeah.
consider
but I want to play again.
the Artist Guild to be my payoff.
I mean, he's gonna get it either way. Okay. Thanks. I'm gonna think about this.
Good luck with the wife. I hope everything goes over well.
Right.
It's a damn shame about that UA girl, though.
And also, it's like Emily's not far.
You know, you don't have to take the barbs in.
Like as far
I
as
don't.
age range, Emily's.
But to be fair,
Well,
you've been a massive pain for me.
no,
For a little bit
but
longer
What
than
I'm
I'd
saying
like to
is,
admit.
like, she's not far from it. I would think.
Devils ringing a bell here?
Coming out with a new like Forbidden Desert.
I haven't
Forbidden
forgotten.
Desert.
Oh, cool.
It's gonna
Good.
be called Forbidden Sky. And it's
By the way,
it's like a cooperative.
the ascendancy, the escape from the Devil's Burning,
like Forbidden
that will
Desert,
also go away
but
if
we're
you
all trying to,
walk
like,
away.
Work together to compile the pieces of an airship to get out of the desert. Like,
We'll keep that
and
in
there's all these shifting sandstorms.
Have a good day.
It's
And he's out.
So it's,
Yep.
wow.
What can Emily have?
I like it. It's very
Okay.
exciting.
Sorry, man, I had to do it.
I know.
Or Granola
God
or
damn.
nothing.
You got some things to think about.
And this is gonna cut into the start of the adventure stuff after Downtime. You want to be able to
Oberon's
I didn't.
meeting.
They were all kind of
It's 4 days before the downtime runs out. It's currently 2 days to get to Awadon.
Okay.
So you have 2 days to kind of think about things, and then 2 days of travel.
Yeah.
And then you will have 6 days of what do I do in when everyone returns. So
Peanut butter.
if you can't decide within that point,
Okay.
then that comes into play.
Yep.
Because like you could always just take it and toss it down the sink, throw it in the river.
And that's pretty obvious what my answer is then.
Yeah, it's a
Hi, do you have any out of character questions to help Lysander understand the situation at all? Or do you want to go find a cleric to free Hermia like immediately?
I mean,
Right.
no wasting time there, because either way, that's probably. It didn't sound like if I take the deal, then Hermia's still frozen.
Yeah. The first
Basically,
first ticket rides the
He's given you time to think about it. He's given
No,
you
that's more popular
access to
because
Hermia because he's like,
the
okay,
American map.
you
It's
can
very easy
release
to
her from the
lock
stone,
down,
a cleric can do
like,
that,
realm
you use the
because
salve,
it's
she gets cured, she's free.
And either way, I then make my choice. Do I want to stick around or.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
Basically, he's saying like,
There's no downside there.
basically he's filling his end of the deal. Hermia is cured.
Cool.
He doesn't want you to work for him because you think he will take your wife away again. He wants you to work for him because you want to work for him.
I got it, but that was super intimidating. Like, not in a way that helps his argument. It makes me think, cool, I'll take the wife and run.
And then in 1,000 years, you will burn for eternity.
Well, that's cool and all. I have plenty of time to think about other options. Maybe I'll find religion. I don't know.
That is your choice.
Man, that's stressful. Okay.
In terms of logistics, getting the power...
Getting it ripped away means all Oberron stuff's gone.
Right. All the Oberron stuff will be gone.
That's not my Hellish Rebuke.
Not the Hellish Rebuke. You would probably... I'd probably just say, for simple role-playing, you wouldn't be a 5th level. Whatever you wanted to be instead, you'd probably be like a 4th level or something. You'd be a little bit weaker because you have to rebuild your skill set.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I assume you spend a couple days kind of relaxing or trying to find a cleric.
Probably. Well, I guess find the cleric first. Be sure. I'm gonna be sure to tell everybody in the guild. Don't chisel that statue.
And then you're kind of stuck and you can't do anything. Yeah.
Move it to my own
I try the
quarters
same
and
for the
just.
cities, and that way it forces myself to close the cities off.
Awesome.
I think that's why I don't do fields, because I get so focused on
I'm just gonna
them.
go ahead
Yeah, I
and.
can do it.
I'm trying to see if a lesser restoration is powerful enough.
But they don't always pay off for me. I try and at least do one because I know that's how you can get points, and that's thing is that they're good for points at the end of the game. So I think it's good to make one and just kind of go with it.
We can just go for Rose and she can put it.
No, I've got it now. Since the other end is put together, I can mimic it. It's just before they both.
Unfortunately, it would be a greater restoration, which is a 5th level spell.
It costs me lots of money.
Yeah, it's big Benjamins.
How much?
Can't do it anymore.
Probably pushing close to 1,000 gold.
I don't have that.
Is the Artist Guild
I don't
taking on actual like commission jobs?
At this point, yeah. We're at a pretty good spot there where when Lysander leaves to head to Hellbound and meet with you guys, yeah, it's pretty much self-sufficient.
No, I'm in Queens.
Like, surprisingly so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, down in the city, but I'm just up here for grad school.
Alright, actually, it looks like it'll be about 500 gold, I think.
That I also can't do.
Okay. That's how much it would cost. Like, just straight up, you could try and jockey or negotiate to try and get a reduced price.
I mean, I was gonna say, as a guild, I could say, oh yeah, by the way, the thing I really actually kind of want. Anybody have that kind of resource?
It's they're professional.
Willing to pay on a,
It's difficult for sure. There's
you know,
a lot of
retainer.
challenges, but the rewards
Some of
are
the,
out there, I think enough so.
You'd have to take it up to one of the temples. The temples don't seem particularly keen on bending. Like, they don't really listen to your plea about being a guild. They are sort of like,
Alright.
They're like, if you want to do us a big favor, we might be willing to negotiate the price. There's a certain limit because Greater Restoration has costs.
I know, it costs you money to use, basically.
Sure.
Okay, what kind of
kids
favor?
every day and see the improvements they
You know, I wasn't going to be sneaky with it and just say my guild will pay you back in
for sure.
over time.
Some of the like
But
testing
I don't know if that's an option.
Like,
I say, what are you willing to do?
You know what's is how they're obsessed with standardized tests and stuff.
What do you need?
I've seen it, but I don't.
The artists, or the... Which temple do you go to?
Helm probably. That seems to be the
Okay.
go-to.
Well, they don't start
Helm
them
says,
until, like,
the
third
Helmites will
grade.
say
First and second
that,
grade teachers have it a little easier, I think, because they don't. Well, the funny thing is, like, my daughter's been.
they don't really have anything specific that they need. They've already contracted out somebody to go take care of their concerns in the north. That would be Bruce, if he ever gets around to it.
I mean, I kind of gathered that. Will he need assistance?
They say, perhaps, but we've already...
I know. So, I mean,
They said he might need assistance, but we've already paid for that through curing his alignment.
Where, like, they have different ways, like, they can do paper.
He says,
or
you know
on
what,
computer.
you're
They can have, like,
relatively established, you're kind of a newcomer, we'll do it for a favor down the line, we'll do it for half cost.
But she said she would finish the
Okay.
lessons. She had to sit there.
that's going to be all of my money.
Like, there was no, she
Literally.
Are you gonna pay?
And they would have 90 minutes.
Yeah.
She said she would be done 30, 40 minutes. And she
I'm
had to
fine
sit
with.
there
Well, not fine with. I'm
like,
pissed.
and
But yes, I would.
expressed it to the teachers at my daughter's school, and I'm like, she's not going to sit still. You know, she's going to start talking.
thinking.
somebody or she's gonna be.
I'm gonna need a rundown of Hermia's personality from you before we start the next session.
The library.
I'll work on that. So first off, hold on.
She's got an IEP, so they have to do something and.
Oh, actually, no, I'm calculating
Any
wrong.
8-year-old is not going to be able to sit and just do nothing.
Well, the thing is, I'm surprised they said she wants to take it. She's told them she wants to
These aren't
take it, she
that
even
much.
told me. I'm like, well,
And, well, this is why
I
I'm
keep
like-
getting way ahead of myself. They
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Just worry about it.
What's funny is that spoilers. Okay, so I pay it.
Yeah, I'm
The
doing my student
magical
training
effect,
second grade right now.
Hermia is released from the stone. You take the potion, pour it, the cure Hermia potion, you pour it down her throat. You watch as the affliction,
Vague affliction.
Yes.
Thing.
the stepmother-itis pulls away. Her skin begins to return to a natural color. The Hell might say that this sort of effect can be very draining.
Crazy about
She is
winter.
likely not to wake up
Winter's
for
a
another
lot
day or
up
so.
here, so maybe a slightly milder.
Alright, and I've got a bit of time before I.
But like my parents are still.
You've got-
I will take her.
You've got a day, and then you need to
I'd
leave.
still be close enough to visit easily.
I don't know, it seems like that area.
Okay.
So you spend the next day with her, kind of tending to her.
They have some.
I need to remember with somebody who I trust, and I don't trust anybody right now.
You know, like, yeah, like I think they.
Okay, on the
get
day that I
their
received
winter ends
the
earlier
meeting,
for
would
them.
it be
I think,
viable for me to send a letter
you know,
up
like,
to
I saw a
Oberron
picture
around
someone posted
probably where I'd expect
cherry
hospital?
blossoms blooming.
Oh, sure, you could send a letter. Oh, when you have the meeting with Oberron?
No, I'm not going to tell them the whole. I'd probably bring up. I had a bit of a meeting. I'm going to be held back by a few days, a couple of days.
Okay, so you're kind of asking them to come to you instead?
I'd offer the option.
Looking ahead
Come,
at this.
if you could come to me, that's great. Otherwise, it'll be a few days extra before I arrive.
Okay.
And I leave at the end of the message.
And, you know, I don't
I've got my
have a lot
life
of
back.
folks that are doing it.
Go ahead and write that letter out, because I'm going to deliver that to Haas.
Sure, yeah, I'll draft this.
But then I try to
I'll-
like, finish it. and it
I'll probably deliver it the day of the actual session, because that'll be the day that everyone's gathered back together.
Well, I finished
So
it last
I'm
night.
gonna write that down.
Then yeah, you will get to.
Alright, so you're going to spend the next couple of days
Is it like multicolored?
tending to your wife. At the end of downtime, like when the next session happens, she'll wake up.
Oh, this has been emotionally draining.
Well, one of my good friends crocheted. She's like,
And I still have how many days left to think about?
You have 6 days left.
yeah,